Thank you very much, Cynthia. We are very happy to have you with us today. Can you introduce yourself in the way you prefer?
Sure. Cynthia Corby. I've been in the region for about 20 years, originally from South Africa. Left South Africa in 1999, always need to reflect on the years. Then went to the UK, lived there for 7 years, and as I say, been here for 20 years, have 2 children, a son and a daughter. My son just finished his first year of university. My daughter has 2 years to go at school, and my husband obviously with me in Dubai as well.
Great. If we have a look into your Netflix or YouTube history, what can we find?
YouTube, nothing. I don't have time. Don't have time to YouTube anything. I have to reload the app sometimes actually, only to see when I need to figure out some IT stuff. It's quite helpful for that. Netflix, I would say docuseries, and I do like period dramas. So just finished watching The Gilded Age, which wasn't on Netflix, but HBO. We won't advertise too many different channels, but yeah, I like docuseries, and because I'm interested in history as well. So on the docu side, all the period dramas linked to history, which I quite enjoy.
Ah, great. When you travel, because you travel quite often, what is the first thing that you pack, or the thing that you always pack with you?
I always pack last minute. That's very consistent. Somebody will say, have you packed yet? I'm traveling tomorrow morning actually to Chicago, and I haven't packed yet. I can't really think of the thing I always pack. Hairbrush, I forgot last time, so hairbrush will definitely be the first thing I pack tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not too predictable on those kind of things, or too superstitious about I have to have this or I have to have that. I'm quite practical, I suppose.
Good to know.
So I guess this weekend is an atypical example of how you wouldn't normally choose to spend your weekends on a long-haul flight. But if you've been in the region a while, what's your ideal weekend look like?
Our ideal weekend or usual weekend
Ideal, I guess we'll start with that. What good looks like and what bad?
I'm usually very family orientated on the weekend, so try to get all the work done in the week and leave the weekends free for family, because my kids are quite sporty. My husband's a rugby coach, so we tend to spend quite a bit of our time on the sidelines of the rugby pitch, which is nice. It's sociable, meeting the community, and I used to manage my son's rugby team, so we were quite involved in that community and still are, so it's enjoyable, yeah. Supporting rugby and all that kind of thing, so it's fun, yeah.
Okay. So we know what you do, your colleagues know what you do, the Deloitte website hints a little bit about what you do. How would your family, or I guess how would your kids describe what you do?
Yeah, that's always an interesting one, right? They see me on lots of conference calls. My husband certainly says I talk a lot because they hear my voice through the walls. Yeah, probably seeing me a lot on my laptop, and then dashing out to client meetings. I do construction as one of my areas of expertise and something I'm really passionate about. So they do hear me talk a lot about different sites I've been to and exciting projects in the region and stuff like that. So that's probably, yeah, she talks a lot, and she talks a lot about construction.
We'd like to talk about business chemistry, the art of relationships in the workplace. Really interested in what business chemistry means to you, how you've seen it play out and manifest, both within your team but also with clients.
Yeah, we actually recently used it for a new client that we won. And onboarded as part of the Transition Lab. So they're a big global group, had lots of different pillars, and true to what we sell at Deloitte is that relationships are key, and we really want the teams to gel in terms of the client side and our side. So we invested quite a bit of time getting the client to do their business chemistry per team, and our teams did the same, and we shared that in each of the Transition Labs, which was quite a nice way for people to connect on a personal level, and to understand what it meant. And the client really enjoyed it because they learned a lot about themselves, but I think our teams did as well. It is a nice way to reflect on why things may not be working, and once you understand that, you know how people are responding or why they're responding in a particular way to get the best out of your teams. So I think it is a nice insight, and of course we don't all stay the same as people, right? We mature and change and learn, how to adapt our approach to different things, depending on which environment you're in. So it's also nice to update it and see how you've changed as a person.
Yeah, and that suggests you have.
Yes.
So, where do you sit now?
So yeah, just reflecting on it, I think I did it many years ago, and was a driver and a guardian. And as an auditor, a guardian shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But even from a family perspective, I think I've always worn that hat. We're 4 sisters, and always worn that hat of making sure everybody's okay, and if there's a problem, sorting it out for them. And so that tends to play out personally as well as at work. But I would say over time, driver has changed to be an integrator. And certainly teams would always have described me as very focused, empathetic person, and often get approached to be a mentor, I think, from that perspective, in terms of being able to understand people's situation and a good listener. And relationships are really key as well. So I think investing in relationships, and that's very key in this region as well, even more so than other places. So over years, having moved around, making sure you continuously invest in relationships, I think is a critical part of people's success as well.
So you mentioned you have been in the region for several years. What brought you here?
Yeah, it was an interesting journey. So my husband's cousins moved here from the UK to set up Serco in the Middle East, and we came to visit them before having children. And really liked the region, where we specifically came to Dubai. And it was just at the start of the construction boom and His Highness's vision for what he wanted to do with Dubai. So it was a very exciting place to see what was happening. That was in about 2000. And then I had my son in 2005 and started thinking, well, being South African, we're used to the sun and we like that lifestyle and being outside. And then what was really happening in Dubai from that perspective in terms of the development and the vision really unfolding. So I was on maternity leave and decided to have a look around and sent my CV off, and there was an opportunity with Deloitte in Dubai. So yeah, went for the interview the following week, and that was it. We landed in Dubai, yeah, and thought, okay, we'll come for a few years and see how we go. And yeah, Christian's 19 now, and we're still here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about your route to partner and maybe some key highlights?
Yeah, it's something teams often ask me as well, like, how did you land up with this role or that role? Because I've had the opportunity and exposure to have different leadership roles in my career at Deloitte. Something that I really value about working in the profession, because you do get exposed to lots of different things. And route to partner, I was a partner in the UK, and then moving to the Middle East, they didn't have any female partners at the time. And so I came over to the Middle East as a director. And then we decided we'd see how both of us adjust in terms of the whole environment was new to me as well. And within 9 months, I then became a partner here. So it was definitely a goal, and something, when you're progressing and you think, okay, I'm going to stay in the profession, that I did want to be a partner. I don't think I ever set a specific path. Obviously, you have your annual goals and you discuss different things. But the key for me throughout my career was grasping opportunities that came my way, and not necessarily something I could foresee would come my way. It may have been a client with a transaction, or a client that was challenging in terms of trying to help them solve a problem, but that led to opening another door, and then that led to something else. And I think that's been the beauty of what I've been exposed to at Deloitte, is different things have led to different opportunities or different relationships offer something new, like the ACCA Women in Finance. I met people here, we started talking about similar topics, and then they said, oh, you're quite passionate about it, would you mind chairing it? And now 13 years on, I'm still doing that. And the same with construction. When I first got here, it was so exciting, and everything that was happening and the clients I was working with, that became a real passion. And then you and I, Carolina, started Powers of Construction, and we're now 13th year now. And I think it's a combination of passion and doing what you love, because if you love it, then you're going to invest in it, and people and your teams will all feel that as well. So it wasn't something very specific, but I think it's just those opportunities that presented themselves and letting that take you on a natural journey. Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, Rick's partner twice. Two different markets. Maybe you just answered it there simply as well, but I wondered if anything particular stands out in terms of taking risks. Does something stand out as the biggest risk that you've taken within the firm?
Well, I suppose the one risk was moving to the Middle East, which was completely new, and no other senior female, either directors or partners. So it was a completely new environment. And I remember at the time meeting our CEO and one of the board members, and they said to me, how do you think you'll adapt to working with clients here, and how will it be different to the UK or South Africa? And I said, quite frankly and very honestly, I have no idea. But I'm hoping when I get here and you build a relationship, you invest in those relationships and you do your best to serve the clients and come up with solutions for them, that will be the same as we do anywhere else in the world. And then we'll, obviously you learn different nuances to different cultures and respect those, and so that's thankfully worked out well.
Is there a uniqueness, do you think, to clients in the region here, or is there a lot of similarities to your life in the UK? I mean, can you see that with clients?
I think at the end of the day, it's always about listening to the client. Sometimes people get quite excited about what we do and end up thinking they know what the client wants. So for me, I always like to learn about the client's business first. Whatever service we're going to provide, I'm always very interested in understanding their business and what their key drivers are. And I think that's why I love construction as well, because when we audit construction, I go out on the site first and we go and see the project, walk the project, meet the directors, meet the people delivering it. And I've always done that with all my clients. And here, I've always found clients really respect you a lot for trying to help them and come up with a solution. And those relationships stand you in really good stead in the future. But that's always been my approach, to be honest. So, yes, yeah, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you understand the business really well and you understand where the client's feeling the pain, then you can come up with various different solutions, yeah.
Cynthia, is there a standout achievement or something that you're most proud of within your time at the firm so far?
I would say partner is definitely always a very proud moment. And in Dubai or the UAE, Middle East at the time, I became partner in 2006. I was the first technical female partner in delivering in a service line. So that was obviously a very proud moment and nice to set that benchmark as a role model for many women who have now followed in terms of becoming partners and directors with the firm as well. Yeah.
We talk about passion and enjoyment of the role from there, but we're particularly interested in job enrichment, what that means for you, I guess what it also means for your team and your relationship with your team to help them feel that.
That's a good question, right? I referred to passion earlier in terms of everything we do. And we were on our way back from Riyadh a couple of days ago, had been out to some site visits with clients, and one of the staff with me asked me, why have you stayed in the profession that long? What have you enjoyed? What was your route to partner? All these questions, and we were having a good chat in the lounge. And I said to her, for me, if I'm not passionate about something, or you're not passionate about something, and happy to go to work every day and feel fulfilled in what you're doing, then that's the time to think about changing. And the firm offers you lots of opportunities to do that, right? And as I mentioned earlier, I've been very fortunate to have lots of different roles. So for me, the enrichment, I think, has been the opportunity to do lots of different things and meet lots of different people from so many different walks of life. And I really enjoy when we're sitting at a client and working with the team and discussing different things and coming up with solutions and resolving some of the challenges. That really gives you a sense of achievement and fulfillment, that you can resolve something but also mentor people, and just being able to watch some of our team members who have struggled maybe at different levels and then investing time with them and just see that turnaround is just so rewarding. To then see people become partners later on in life, or just help them through a difficult time that they may have been going through personally, and just see them then succeed in the firm. That to me personally I find very rewarding.
Yeah, that requirement for variety, I guess, both on the client side, in the job and with your team.
Yeah, yeah. And seeing people progress, investing in people, I really do find that very rewarding as well. Yeah.
A final question, is there a particular resource or something that you might recommend to others? Maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a book you've read, maybe it's something that you've done as a piece of closing advice.
What I would say I have done over the last year, which was quite an interesting journey for me, was to have a personal coach. So I think was a good thing for me to invest in yourself, learn a little bit about yourself in terms of where you are now. I've been in this career for about 34 years, so it was a good time to reflect on who I am. What do I do? How do I operate? How do I maybe want to change that? Where do I want to go in the future? So for me it was a very valuable exercise and kind of a reflection point for what do I want to do for the next 10 years or so. So I think it's just that continuous investment in yourself, right? And maybe people refer to resources to do that, and podcasts and books and all that kind of thing. But for me, I am a very interactive person. I like relationships, so the coach for me worked really well. So I would say, yeah, that was a very valuable lesson not lesson, but reflection point in terms of where I am at this stage of my career. Yeah.
In terms of a legacy, Cynthia, so this is a key theme across the region. What kind of legacy would you like to leave behind you?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. That's a tough one, isn't it? Definitely to be seen by my children as a mom who's inspired them to be the best they can be. I always say to them, work hard and do your best, and we don't expect anything more. If it doesn't work out, try again. So definitely to be seen as that. And I think to be seen as somebody who is willing to inspire others to do well, and mentoring quite a few different people over the years, as I've mentioned, I found really rewarding. So I think that's always important, especially in the role I've had with women in finance. It's quite a theme that comes through, is that sometimes women don't invest in other women to help them succeed. So for me, that's really important. So as I suppose, I haven't really thought about it, but while I'm talking, I think a legacy to really be seen to be not only an advocate for women progressing in the workplace and doing well, but to really be seen as somebody who helps people get through that.